Hey, what's going on? In today's video, we're going to be talking about different methods of building trust and rapport so you can sell and influence more faster. Back in the 1900s, there was this gentleman by the name of Dr. Milton Erickson, and he became a psychotherapist. He had polio and was in a wheelchair, and so when his clients would come in, one of the first things he would do is he would watch how they communicate. He was one of the founding members of NLP. For those of you who don't know what NLP is, it's neuro-linguistic programming. I would highly recommend diving deeper into the subject if you are in sales or if you want to get better influencing and persuading others. So if Dr. Erickson had a client that came in and they were talking with a louder volume and faster and more open body language and said, Dr. Erickson, I've been to every person in town and they can't help solve my problems, he would match and put out what he received. So he would say, I understand that you've been to every place in town and I understand that you have a problem, but you haven't been here. We're going to solve those problems. And in the back of that individual's mind, he would say, he is a lot like who? He's a lot like me. I trust this person for some reason. I don't know why, but I like you. If then he had a client that came in that was a soft-talking older lady that wasn't very confident, and she said, Dr. Erickson, I'm really having a really tough time, and I've been to every person in town, and they just can't help me. He would, again, put out what his clients put out. And he would say, Janet, I understand that you've been to every place in town, and I know that you've tried different things, but you haven't been here. We're going to find a way to solve these issues. And again, instantly, in her mind, she says, this person, for some reason, I feel like I can trust them. Because what if Dr. Erickson communicated like this and said, Janet, I know you've been everywhere in town, but you haven't been here. We're going to take control of these issues and we're going to solve these problems. It would be such a disconnect that it would throw her off and she would be turned off and wouldn't want to listen and would say, I don't really like you. You're too much for me. I'm going to go somewhere where it fits me better. People buy from people that they like and trust. Trust is the currency that we operate on. And so we have to build deeper levels of trust and rapport. Dr. Erickson was known for building such deep levels of trust that his clients would do almost anything for him, where even if they had to climb a mountain because he asked them to, they were known to do so. And so I'm sure at some point you've seen the communication model. Maybe you haven't, so look it up. But communication is based on 7% of how we communicate is based on the words that we use. 38% of how we communicate is based on the tone of voice, the pace, the inflections, and 55% of how we communicate is based on our body language, how we use our hands and gestures, how we use our eye contact. So I want you to pay attention to those things. Pay attention to the clients, the patients, the customers that come in. When you are trying to influence and sell them something, pay attention to the words they use. Pay attention to the tone of voice and the pace at how fast they talk and the inflections and rhythms of how they communicate. Pay attention to their body language and their eye contact. And I want you to put out what they are putting out. When you do so unconsciously, you're going to trigger something that says, this person is somebody that I can trust. All across America, you see this. If you go into a high school, you're going to see the jocks are over here and the gothic kids are over there. They dress similar, they talk similar, and they have similar interests and things that they do. As adults, if you look at like a bike gang, you're going to see the same thing. They're going to be shaved heads with facial hair. They got tattoos. They're going to be wearing leather chaps. People tend to hang out with people that they like and trust. People tend to buy from people they like and trust. So when you have customers, patients, and clients that come in, match and mirror the message they're putting out. I can tell you an example. I was in California, and this was a really funny experience. the consultant that we had in that office was a surfer, grew up in Santa Barbara, and just had that laid back kind of vibe where he was just hanging loose and taking one day at a time. And the patient that came in was from New York, and she was a congresswoman of a town nearby, and she was very busy and had things to do, and she talked extremely fast, and they couldn't communicate in two totally more different planes. And so when I got with her and I started talking to her, she said, "Is something wrong with him?" And I just had to explain, he's just a calm, cool, collected guy that just, takes his time and just does things thoroughly and just enjoys talking to people. And instantly I could tell that she was talking faster. So one of the things that I did is I picked up my tone of voice and I picked up my pace. And then in her mind, unconsciously, she said, "Wow, this person is like me. I can trust this person." And she ended up buying from us. So what tends to happen is we tend to communicate in our own manner, and we communicate based on the experiences we've had in our past. We tend to communicate based on how and where we were raised. And so we tend to sell only to those people who are communicating in that similar manner. And so one of the things that we have to do, if you want to communicate more effectively and sell different types of people, we have to change and alter our message so it is received better. I don't want you to change who you are. Still, I want you to remain true to who you are, but I want you to alter your message so it's received better. One study was done with this professor where he took two groups of waiters and waitresses, and they took them into a restaurant. And group one, all they would do is give positive reinforcement to the person that ordered. So they would say something like, "Oh, that's a good choice." In group two, they would match and mirror exactly the same order that customer would place. On average, they had a 70% higher tips than the people who would just give positive reinforcement. So the words that we use are powerful. We chose those words if I'm the customer, so go ahead and match and mirror those words back. And in my mind, I feel like you are hearing me. With the body language, I remember having a conversation with this Italian person, and he was talking with his hands, and he said, "We're going to go fishing today, and there's nothing better than you get a real big fish on, and then you take it home and you cook that fish up. Oh, it is the most amazing thing in the world, especially when you caught it yourself." And so when I was communicating with this individual, I used more body language. And again, in his mind, he's like, "Wow, this person is like me." So make sure that you alter and change your communication method again so it is heard and received better. If they are talking softer, and if they are talking and not giving you as much eye contact, don't go in there and talk loud and excited. You need to change your pace and tone of voice and then talk softer so that patient says, "You know what? This is a person that I can trust. This is a person that cares and understands me, and I can see myself doing business with them." So again, your words that you use, the tone of voice and the pace at which you speak, your body language, your eye contact, the gestures that you use, match and mirror. When you do that more effectively, you will build more rapport, deeper levels of rapport and trust, and that is the currency that we operate on. I would encourage you to do this for every single person that comes in. And you can do this stuff on the phone. They might not be able to see your body language and your eye contact, but they can hear your tone of voice. They can hear your inflections, the rhythm. Don't copy accents though, okay? Do not copy accents. If you don't have that accent, don't try to create one. For the next presentation that you put on, for the people you are trying to influence, for the products you're trying to sell, I want you to match and mirror the customers, the clients, the patients that are coming in. Take a moment and listen. Ask them an open-ended question and pay attention to the message that they're giving you. I want you to match the words. I want you to match the tone of voice and how fast they're talking, the volume levels and the inflection and the cadence and rhythm. I want you to match their body language and how they're using their hands and their eye contact. When you do so, your message will be received better. You will build deeper levels of trust and rapport, and you will be a better salesperson. Hey, thanks for watching today's video. I hope you got some valuable information out of it. If you did, hit the like button below and make sure that you subscribe to the channel. If you have other ways of building rapport and trust, leave a comment in the section below. I love hearing from you guys. Until next time, have a great rest of your day. God bless. I'm out.